In this video I'll be reviewing the new LEGO Avatar sets: Eeloo Discovery, Skimwing Adventure, Mako Submarine, Metcaina Reef Home, and Payakan the Tulkun and Crab Suite. Be sure to use the timestamps to watch the one you want, but you should watch them all. Eeloo Discovery is the smallest set of the new wave of Avatar sets and features 2 reef structures, 2 minifigures and the aquatic creature Eeloo. If nothing else, the Avatar sets will be amazing for part collectors, as the amount of different colors used in the reef-like structures is insane, and let me tell you, there's a lot of reefs going on in these sets. Too many, I might add. These two feature some different shades of leaf elements. I like the coral reef element in teal, the fishes in this very bright green shade, the ice cream element in purple, and transparent 1x1 clips. They don't offer play and are often used just to display the models, by having cross axles and these transparent connectors to place minifigures, as if they were swimming underwater. The two included in the set are surprisingly regular looking if you compare them to the super stretched ones that some of the other sets have. Tuck is the smallest here with the short bendable legs, tail, elongated headpiece with ears and hair. The second one has similar features but longer legs and a different body color, as she is part of the reef tribes as opposed to Tuck and her relatives with the medium blue shade for the forest tribes. The highlight of this one is the aquatic creature Eeloo, that with these wing-like structures might fool you into thinking it flies, which it doesn't. There's a very distinct white, yellow and sand blue color scheme going on, and having seen the movie a few days ago, I'm happy to say it closely represents the screen version well. The fins are made of a plastic material and can be adjusted due to being on-click hinges. There's smaller brick-built fins towards the front, and neck and head can be posed. The head is made out of 2 elements, so the mouth can be opened, and the lower jaw element was actually repurposed from the Velociraptor dinosaurs from Jurassic World, so a good move there. There's also these rubbery elements to which the characters can connect to while riding Pandora's creatures, and there's a wall element here to which the minifigure can be attached to. There isn't a lot of play here. It feels like a glorified display stand for the Eeloo, so I'm not too sure. It will retail for $25 for just 179 pieces. Now, I know what you're thinking, and a lot needs to be said about pricing, so I'll save that for last, cause it will be the same across the board. The next set is the Skimwing Adventure, another 2 reef builds with a similar type of color choices as the previous 2, and are used as display for the Skimwing and the 2 minifigures. In this one we get Jake Sully and Tonowari. Here's where things get a bit freaky for me. Their legs and arms are bigger than normal, which is kinda weird as I'm used to minifigs being this size, you know? The legs have 3 holes behind instead of 2, and the arms are also way longer than the ones from regular minifigures. Makes sense due to their size on the movies, but still. They both have weapons. Jake is actually wearing his military vest, and their colors match the forest and reef tribes respectively. The big thing about this one is actually this Skimwing. It's significantly larger than the Eeloo and a slightly more complex build, with a nice color scheme of mostly tan and sand blue elements. Features the same type of plastic foil material for the wings with vibrant colors, held to the body with click hinges for some degree of movement, and it is a lot more poseable than the Eeloo, since it has 3 different joints. 2 small ball joints on the tail and neck, and a stronger robot joint in the middle. The head is also made out of 2 different elements that can be opened, and it also has 2 of the rubbery hoses to connect to the rider that can be connected to it with these studs here. It has similar issues to the previous one. It's basically the same set: 2 reefs, 2 minifigures and a big creature. Not a whole lot of play in my eyes. And it will retail for $35 with just 259 pieces. More on that later on. Next, there's the Mako Submarine set. This one features 3 reef builds. The bigger one has a bit of a cave going on so that the characters can hide from the submarine, but other than that, once again, they're here to display the models and minifigures and not much else. They do offer a lot of interesting cool recolors of elements like the teal bananas, the lavender carrots, or the purple unicorn horns. A bit of standard looking foliage elements, and these crown pieces are actually glow in the dark. Before going into the minifigures, this one also has a sand blue stingray, an eerie color of an element previously seen in some LEGO City underwater sub-theme sets. The minifigures are the 3 teenagers, Netayan, Ao Nung and Spider, who's actually human though he was given the short bendable legs for reasons I don't understand. His face prints feature the masks humans have to use on Pandora to breathe properly. The Na'vi kids both have weapons, but the crossbow stood out to me the most as it looks like a new element that actually shoots arrows. The fourth minifigure is, spoiler alert, RDA Quaritch, wearing a full-on military gear. But this set is all about the submarine. The color scheme makes it very military looking, although I don't remember this having this much sand green in the movie. It was an interesting build overall and a good break from all of the creatures and reefs, something that felt more familiar as far as LEGO builds go. There's 3 propellers to the back that can be all tilted, to the top there's this power source that can be removed, some orange details here to the side, followed by stud shooters, and finally the cockpit area for both Spider and Quaritch. In the movie this was all a continuous space, but I understand the compromises that needed to be made here due to piece constraints. Spider can ride in the top while Quaritch takes the lower position, though it's not easy to place there and forced me to having to twist his tail element a bit. Being a submarine is a bit of a miss seeing these holes here on the sides of the cockpit area. A lot of water will get inside if the build is like this, right? Regardless of all of that, there's a bit more play going on with this one, with the submarine chasing after the Na'vi boys that can hide in the underwater cave build, and if nothing else is a good set for parts when you look at all of the sand green elements and the multitude of colors used in the reef builds. It will retail for $59 and has 553 pieces. The Metcainer Reef Home is a very weird looking set that will only make sense to people who will watch the movie. The reef tribes build their homes on top of reefs and they're interconnected with different layers of platforms made with cloth materials, nets and things like that. It is a very organic thing that is really hard to capture in LEGO form, yet it was done decently enough, I think. These blue pieces here represent the water level, so everything underneath is considered underwater, so there's a bit more reef builds going on. There's a bit more variety in the elements used though, with this group here with the purple horns coming out of the yellow bowl element, or these trans green domes to this side. A lot of pink shaded foliage around most of the base, some fish and a little cave with another of those glow in the dark elements. There's this dock here with a simple canoe build that can unload passengers, and they can also go up to the house from the sea using the ladder back here. Inside there's a bit of a campfire going on with some food nearby being prepared, plates I think, and some weird builds. It will be hard to miss the house cover in the form of these 2 big plastic foil elements with a lot of printed details on and even some transparent bits. On top of it all there's this big ornament, and the set would not be complete with yet another mini reef build. For the minifigures we have the reef tribe leaders Ronal and Tonowari, and the only appearances of Neytiri and Kiri on this wave of products. As I mentioned previously, this is a weird looking one for the majority of people that will not have watched the Avatar movie. Playing house with LEGO will not, for most people, look anything remotely close to this. And while capturing the location of the movie quite well, I can say that this one will probably be performing very poorly sales-wise. I hope I'm wrong though, but it will retail for $80 and only contains 528 pieces. The final set of the wave is Payakan the Tulkun and the crab suit, with Payakan being the name of this whale-like creature from the Tulkun species, just for clarification's sake. Yes, more reefs, you get the drill by now. The crab suit, however, has to be one of my favorite builds of the lot. It is relatively small and compact, but packs a lot of value in it. It has 4 legs that are very poseable with a lot of movement to it due to click hinges and ball joints. It can retract them because it also has a submarine kind of mode propelled by the propeller on the back, similar style to the one from the Mako submarine. Its shape feels very crab-like, and I kinda like the shapes it has when I look at it from above. There's 2 arms as well, retracted against its body, that can be deployed like so to be able to handle things. The cockpit is decently sized to fit the only regular looking human minifigure of the entire wave, and closing it is sometimes not easy as the windshield element hits these brackets inside that kinda bend inward a little for some reason. When closed though, it does feel like it won't have as many leaks as the Mako submarine. Then there's Payakan, the Avatar whale. It plays a major role in the movie, so I can see how it makes sense to make it as a model, but this thing is huge, like bigger than the other 2 creatures of the lineup, bigger than the submarines, it's bigger than the DeLorean for instance, or almost the same height as the Ideas lighthouse. The color scheme is mostly white and dark blue, though I dislike the fact I'm able to see some teal or yellow underneath some of the elements. You can look at it and think it's a very static build, but there's some joints at obvious places, like the fins on the sides of the main body, with one actually being shorter than the other for movie accuracy's sake. Detail has a click hinge, and this whole section moves as well. And while not moving a whole lot, it's still enough to pose it in a couple of different positions. Now, the main thing about it is the giant molded headpieces, featuring printed highs, some stripes and detailing in several positions, and the opening angles are super interesting and satisfying to see working flawlessly. A side note that's totally worth mentioning is that these elements were packed in paper, so after much advertisement, this is the first time I'm actually seeing single-use paper bags to pack Lego pieces. More of these, please. Inside there's enough space to eat a lot of minifigures, so out of all of these sets of the Wave, this to me is the one which offers the most play value. It also comes with Lohak and Cyria on top of the previously mentioned Crabsuit Human Pilot. It will retail for $99 with just 761 pieces. Now, let's get real here. The LEGO Avatar sets are really expensive, even for LEGO standards. So, aside from the Mako Submarine, where the price tag of $59 makes it close to a 10-cent per piece LEGO set, which is regarded by fans, or at least to me, the baseline of a fairly priced LEGO set, every other set is extremely expensive. The worst of them all being the Reef Home that, retailing for $79 with 528 pieces, makes the price per piece close to 15 cents, which is insane. Now, here's a list of the things that are increasing the prices of the set so much. First, the minifigures. A lot of new molds and elements increases the cost of production. Same goes for the new head elements, the rubbery bits on some of the heads, the minifigure tails, the bow element, all of the plastic foils, and the IP license fees. Now, understanding why the pricing is what it is does not make it easier to justify. A few comparisons. At $99 you could buy this one that has 761 pieces, or the Galaxy Explorer for the same price but has 500 more pieces. The ELO retailing for $25 will have 179 pieces, but for just $20 you could get this Ninjago set that offers a lot more play and even has around 40 more pieces. If you compare these two that will be priced the same, you'll be surprised to know that the mech has 250 more pieces than the Reef Home. Even the Mako Submarine set has more pieces than the Reef Home, but will be $20 cheaper. It isn't as big of a model for sure, and the Reef Home does feature very big elements and the biggest plastic foils I've ever seen on a LEGO set, but still. Did the sets really need that amount of reefs that are basically just stands? I honestly don't think so. The LEGO City Underwater sub-theme was able to capture underwater environments in a relatively simple way, and I think Avatar sets should have gone the same route. To 1. Reduce the final prices of these sets, or 2. Keep the pricing but cutting down on the reef builds and investing those pieces in better ways to offer play for kids. Two of these sets are basically just stands for the creatures, and the house one isn't relatable enough for house play in my opinion. Now, this whole conversation, however, is only really relevant for hardcore LEGO fans who really think most of their purchases through. For most people who will just go watch the movie, end up liking it and buy the LEGO sets for fun, these products will be great as they faithfully represent the locations and creatures of the movie and are truly really well designed. The designers, graphic designers and element designers did an amazing job. Pricing of the sets and the fact that the movie feels somewhat niche to drive the necessary amount of attention and hype that generates sales for LEGO will probably dictate what the future of the Avatar theme will be. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm thinking it won't be very bright. Hope you enjoy these full wave type of videos. It's a lot of work, so please consider subscribing, and I'll see you all in the next one.